So they're playing great, and Trent McDuffie and crew could not handle CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Dak was great. And, Nick, the defense I thought was good. They held the Chiefs scoreless in the second and third quarters, gave up the 2 touchdowns early, and the first one was after the interception, so it was a short field. And then, held the Chiefs pretty good till the fourth, and the Chiefs scored. And so that defense, we know if that defense just is solid. We've been saying it all year.
They're really dangerous.
The offense is great, and they are absolutely dangerous. So I do fear Jerry saying the wrong thing, getting way ahead of himself. He hasn't uttered Super Bowl yet, but that's probably coming too early.
Great call.
And maybe that'll derail things. But, hey, right now, there's only one grade to give them for what they did the other day. And it –
Great acting.
He's just the best.
Well, look. Nick stole my bit early on, so I got to steal one of your bits and go to the banners. A-game.
Another A-game, 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 A-game.
This is balling. There's no doubts about it.
So I want to say something about Dak, because, again, if people didn't watch Wednesday's show, you don't need to.
They're binging it. Like, I got to go back and watch it.
Yeah, don't worry. But we got into probably a more heated argument than we typically do on this show, even though I want this show to be competitive sports debate. You guys want it to be a friendly hang. And some of it was based on Brew and I saying, Mahomes in a big game, Dak in a big game, this is a big game, playoff adjacent, and Wild was like, it's not the playoffs. We were like, but kind of it is. And
Wild saying, Mahomes is a very
good player, but let's not get into it. But to that note, I was more impressed by Dak's performance after he threw the first pick. Like, because I know obviously he was better after that was his first pass of the game, or second pass of the game. My point is, I was more impressed by how he played than I would have been if he had never thrown the pick. Because it felt like, the moment that happened, it's like, oh, this reminds me of the start of the Packer playoff game, that it was like, oh, this is 50 million people watching, season on the line, playing the Chiefs. He's been playing great, throws the pick, and it's going to spiral on him. And the opposite happened. He played great. He has to be, I don't want to overstep, he has to be on Brew's ballot this week, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's so nonsense, though, because Nick did not say that about Joe Burrow and the Bengals last year, when Joe Burrow was literally putting up insane numbers. And both teams not in the playoffs right now. Both teams struggling with defense. At least obviously the Cowboys defense is getting better now. So kind of ridiculous. So I'm not going to get into the whole MVP conversation, but Dak played awesome. And, I think there's two things, though, that need to be stated, though. Because Nick was saying that this was a really big game for the Cowboys. Playoff adjacent not necessarily for the Cowboys, and they're at home and going up against the Chiefs right now is seemingly not that big of a deal. No one's really scared of this Kansas City Chiefs team in ways that they had been in the past. And as Nick himself and earlier in the segment highlighted, that this Kansas City Chiefs defense right now, they're 29th in 7, on third and 7+ yards to go. And, most losses this year when taking a lead in fourth quarter, combined, on the level of the New York Giants and the Miami Dolphins. And this is what I've said about Dak Prescott and this Dallas Cowboys team over the years, that if you're not a great team and if you're not a great defense, Dak Prescott will absolutely, positively get after you and pick you apart. And I said going to this game, I'm more interested to see how Dak does and the Cowboys do against the Kansas City Chiefs than against the Philadelphia Eagles, because I kept saying the Philadelphia Eagles are the definition of a divisional game. It's always this fascinating game between the two of them. There's only so many such strong takeaways from those games, quite frankly. And it is kind of interesting because the Eagles aren't playing good right now. And quite frankly, neither the Kansas City Chiefs, not like the Kansas City Chiefs are playing bad, but the Kansas City Chiefs aren't even in the piles right now. And as I just showed you their defensive stats, etc., but they're still well coached. They're still well prepared. There's still other wrinkles that they're capable of doing and bringing to an offense, at least defensively. I mean, I'm focusing specifically defensively against the Dallas Cowboys right now, because That's more the story than anything else to me. Patrick Mahomes was great. And Dak threw that interception, rough interception, etc., etc. And, I think it is always impressive to show that level of resilience. And I think this was an awesome game by Dak and the Cowboys. And it was everyone involved right now. And to me, this showed me more about the Dallas Cowboys team and not necessarily so much about Dak, because if we're going through the lens that this Kansas City, again, Kansas City Chiefs have a worse record than the Carolina Panthers right now. Okay, they're not in the playoffs. They have a worse record than the Houston Texans, who had Davis Mills, a backup quarterback for a bunch of the games. Okay, they have the same record as the Baltimore Ravens, who had Cooper Rush as their quarterback if Lamar Jackson has been injured. So, it's like we can't say that this Kansas City Chiefs team is like the Kansas City Chiefs team. But I cared more about how this team was prepared, how this team executed, the big plays that were there. I mean, it was an awesome thing to see. I watched this game twice, essentially. One the first time during Thanksgiving when my family was there all talking and this, that, and I was building connects with my nieces and nephews and whatnot. We were, building stuff or whatever. So I was like half watching it, knowing obviously I'm like taking notes in the back of my mind, like seeing very specific plays. The one Mahomes throw to Xavier, I think it was Xavier Worthy. And then I went back at night, watched the game, took notes, and did that whole thing. But it was so interesting, actually, to hear what everyone was saying. They're football fans. They know football. They're not as locked in as we all are here. They're not watching YouTube videos and going through all the games. But it was interesting to hear the comments that they were making, and they all kept saying, this is the best game I've ever seen. This game is extraordinary. This game is unbelievable. This game is unbelievable. And it was like this game had such everyone came out to play. The play calling, I think Sean Hammer did a brilliant job. I think the way how this offense was executed. Again, Dak executed at an incredibly high level. Williams, Davis, Turpin, I mean, like everyone got after it. Everyone had their big moment to shine. Obviously, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, and like it was just everybody was rising to the occasion. And it really highlights that when you have a team, when you have a squad of everyone stepping up, everyone doing what needs to be done right now, the Dallas Cowboys, they have an awesome O-line. They have 2 elite wide receivers. They have a top rushing attack in the NFL. And it's just like, and as long as your defense is not just, hey, come on into the end zone. Hey, you want a touchdown? You want a touchdown too? Yeah. No, come on. Keep going. It's all good. Keep going. You're going to win a ton of games. You're going to win a ton of games. And to me, this offense and Dak Prescott, the last thing that someone like Dak just needs to show that he can do is do this on the playoffs, do this on the road, do this in bad weather, right? Do this when it truly matters the most. And although this mattered the most for Nick Wright and the Kansas City Chiefs, that was not the case against the Dallas Cowboys. But this is what I keep, for the Dallas Cowboys. But this is what I kind of keep saying in all my takes today after I'm watching all these games. I'm like, this is the best year to not have all the answers right now, because right now it literally feels, and I truly feel this about every top team in the NFL. And I would say that the Cowboys are technically, they're not a top team, but I believe that they're playing as a top team right now. Every team feels like they could either win the Super Bowl or get knocked out in the first round. Every single team, it's just wild to me right now. And in previous years, you would say, the Bills are going to bring it. The Ravens are going to bring it. The Chiefs, the 49ers, the Eagles, etc., right? These teams that have consistently proven it. Their talent, how they win, it's clearly defined. Matthew Stafford, he's a Super Bowl winner. Jalen Hurts, he's a Super Bowl winner. Josh Allen is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. Lamar Jackson's an absolute freak. Mahomes, the Chiefs, Shanahan, the 49ers, etc., etc. This year, it's all over the place, man. It's absolutely the Jacksonville Jaguars are up there. You have confidence. If the Jags and the Cowboys play in the Super Bowl, you're really going to be like, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to ball and he's going to lead this team. Like, you could say that with confidence? Of course not. Of course not. Right? You're going up against the Broncos in Bo Nix year 2, Drake May in year 2. Sam Darnold. Do you have super confidence in Sam Darnold? I know lots of people don't. So it's a fascinating situation to be in right now. Really, the worst thing the Cowboys have going for them is their lack of home field advantage in bad weather, because that would really help you against the actual top teams, at least from a standing standpoint in the playoffs. The Seahawks, the Rams, because then that would be like, I don't know, you trusting Sam Darnold in in cold, windy, rainy weather, you trusting Matthew Stafford, who just proved when the weather's not so great, he looks a little off. He's an older quarterback, and that's what happens like that. That's actually the worst thing that the Cowboys would have going for them, is that they don't have that advantage. But even so, you know, you would still need to see the Eagles to kind of keep losing, which is definitely possible. And the Commanders, you know, they got 2 games against the Commanders, but like the Commanders are feisty, so who's to say that those are guaranteed wins? But like realistically, the best path for them is the wild card, which means they would be on the road the whole time. And against any of the truly like scary teams, at least like the way how you would classically define them, you're most likely going to be playing under, you know, pretty decent conditions. And so then there's no kind of like extra benefit. And then it is kind of just like straight up, right? Can your defense slow down Matthew Stafford? Can you do that? They have an awesome defense. Can Dak and that offense find their way through any of the wrinkles that they want to throw your way? Or if you're on the road in Lambeau in the freezing cold, you know, against Micah. I mean, I'm all for that game. Honestly, I'd love to see a situation where the Eagles and the Cowboys both make the playoffs. Because they're 2 such iconic brands, iconic teams. I think when you have both those teams in the playoffs, they're 2 of the most popular teams. But I'd love to see like a wild card game. Maybe if it would be like a 4-5 wild card on the road, Dallas Cowboys and Green Bay, right? Like that's Micah the trade. That's box office to me. That's absolute box office to me. And I'd love to see it like in a situation, maybe the Eagles have the first round bye, which is probably unlikely. But then like the winner of that gets to face the Eagles, because then you're either now having a rematch between the Packers and the Eagles or the Cowboys and the Eagles. Like that's box office. Like again, I'm here for the entertainment. I'm here for the noise. I'm here for the drama. I'm here for the fun. So I'm always trying to tinker and find like the perfect scenarios of what could be the most exciting. It almost never works out that way ever. But you know, that's what I would love to see. There's so many different matchups that I would absolutely positively love to see, but like a really cold, brutal game. Packers, Cowboys, like I love that. And that's when Dak has the opportunity to prove I am him. I am different. I am special. I am great. Stop judging me on the failures of my past. Right? This is different. Like that's the only thing that he has left to show everyone. And the moment he does that, that puts everything else in context. Until he does that, there is still the yeah but situation. And right now his offense, he's got the O-line, he's got the run game, he's got the weapons, and he seemingly has the coaching. He's got it. He's got it. So, exciting times for the Dallas Cowboys for sure. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Dallas Cowboys? How do you feel they played against the Kansas City Chiefs? Do you think they are dangerous and can make the playoffs? And you, truthfully, if they don't make the playoffs, then that was just a massive, massive, massive missed opportunity and a poor management going into this season, where you could have built this team going into this season in a way that would have put yourself in a better situation. That'll be a different conversation. We'll see what happens with the playoffs. It's a tight race. It's kind of crazy right now. I think the Cowboys probably still need a bunch of other teams to really drop the ball for them to get into the playoffs. I don't think it's really in the Cowboys' control right now. So we'll see how it all unfolds. So obviously have some time, but let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun, and please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much.